Cape Town is making me fall in love with taking photos more than ever before. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's the views, probably. Both of those do help. I don't know, but I'm very much enjoying it. Let me take you through this week, what we got up to and what photos I took. Friday was one of those days where the weather really wasn't playing ball. So me and Naomi just leaned into it. We went into Cape Town city centre and we spent most of the day tucked away in coffee shops, working. I edited some photos from a shoot that I did with Naomi just before we came out here. Posted that on Instagram. I'm really happy with how the photos came out. I've not shot in a studio much before, so working with lighting and that space is something that I want to get better at. I also finally made it to Cape Film Supply to drop off a roll of film. But yeah, really like that lab. They've got a dog hanging out there and they've got these, like, just the whole design of the place is really cool. They've got these film rugs, which I now just want to get some for my office, and their merch is really cool, so I might have to go back and buy a hat. Later in the day the weather cleared and it turned into this beautiful evening, so Naomi and I went for a walk along the seafront. I've been really enjoying taking photos with my phone recently. I've got an iPhone 16 Pro and been using the Leica app. You know, when moments are quick or you don't want to pull out a big camera, phone is just your best shout sometimes, and phones are so good these days, so I'm really liking how the photos are coming out. I've linked the little action button on the side of my phone to the Leica app, so when I open it up, press that, it immediately goes to the app, and it might be a placebo, but I think it just processes the photos a little bit better, which I really like. It was a beautiful evening. It's such a great spot to just walk around and people watch as well. Saturday we woke up early and we hopped in the car and drove to Kommetjie. We met some friends there for what would have been a swim, but because of the bad weather the day before, the waves were crazy. Compared to just a week earlier when we were there and it was like a lake, the waves were scary. So we very sensibly stood on the shore and just watched the water for a bit. We then ended up walking along this boardwalk to the lighthouse there, which felt like the better option. Again, had my phone, had my little DJI Osmo. We then stopped at Good Riddance for some coffee and pancakes. We came here 2 years ago when we stayed in Kommetjie for a couple of nights, and I swear I've been thinking about those pancakes every month since we went. They're so good, and it made me really happy that it was the same guy still going there, still putting in a shift to make such incredible pancakes. Kommetjie's not a very big place, but we ended up wandering through the little market that they had going on there, through the surf shop, and then headed back towards Cape Town. Met my cousin for lunch, and then we headed to Llandudno Beach. The waves were still pretty chaotic, so again, no swimming. We just hung out on the beach, people watched and dog watched. Honestly, could have stayed there all day just watching all the dogs. Later on, Naomi and I then drove to Chapman's Peak for a sunset. If you've never been or heard of Chapman's Peak, it's one of the most beautiful drives in the world. It's this road that wraps along these cliffs, and it's got views of this bay and these mountain peaks, and unbelievable. Sunday was a chill day. We just hung out here at my cousin's flat, And then we went and picked my sister up from the airport, went to the beach, hung out with some of my cousins who had also just arrived. And then Monday, I woke up to my film scans in my inbox, which is always just the best feeling. I was a bit nervous about this role because I thought I had screwed up the exposure. Luckily though, they came out okay. Really liked some of the photos on there, so that was a relief. I posted some then on Monday from Nordhook Beach. The light was unreal when we walked around there, and it was this crazy windy day, but colors just looked so good on film. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I feel like I'm getting better at noticing the little moments happening around me. Not just the landscape, but like the people in it, what they're up to, and just looking for interesting stories around me. There were a few small scenes that I really loved. Like there was this couple walking on the beach, and I just really liked this photo of them walking amongst the rocks. This one as well of the friends hiding from the wind, and the people dotted across the beach walking their dogs with the mountain just dramatically falling into the sea in the back. I can imagine some of these in a photo book or as a print, and that's kind of the dream. Every week I feel like I'm getting better and better, so yeah, I'm really happy with those little moments that I'm starting to get better at noticing. Me and Amy just stayed at home on Tuesday. We worked throughout the day, and then in the evening I went back to the trail club, Tuesday Trails, the last one of the year, and this time was in Newlands Forest, which was very different to the mountain from a couple of weeks ago. Super interesting, running through what felt like Jurassic Park at some stages. Met some very friendly Germans on the run. Didn't fall, which is a massive win. Yeah, we ran for about an hour, and my legs are definitely feeling it today. It was only about 5 kilometers, but a lot of elevation. The last few days I've been trying to make a new photographer spotlight video. So I've been looking at Africa's great photographers the past few weeks. I wanted to move into South African photographers, and I was trying to find a way to transition into talking about some of them. Started by looking at this woman, Constance Stewart Larrabee, and it honestly took me ages to just figure out how to approach the photos. I think because South Africa has such a complicated history, complicated political, racial history, looking at photos, you have to understand the context behind them. So when you see these photos, you're like, oh, they're beautiful, but then you're like, actually, there's all these other layers underneath that. And I think it's really important to know that. So my approach with this week's video, talk about her photos and then uncover the extra bits of context about race and her position in South Africa while she was taking the photos of these people. And that will then roll into the next few weeks where I'm going to be talking about really amazing photographers, photojournalists who covered apartheid and the violence of that. So I felt like this was a good transition into that. To be honest, I felt overwhelmed trying to condense it into a 3-minute video. Yeah, I really hope people will enjoy it, and it'll just spark some interesting conversations around context that you take photos in and the relationship between the photographer and the subject. If you haven't yet, go check out that video on Instagram. My page is called From the Lodge, and every week I try and make little photographer spotlights to highlight someone that I'm learning about and how that's influencing my photography, influencing my view of photography in general. So yeah, go check that out if that's something you're interested in. This next week is Christmas, then New Year's. Got a lot of family things planned, so hoping to put out another video like this just before New Year's if I can film and edit enough. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you can get out this weekend, shoot photos, shoot videos, do something creative, hang out with friends and family. Have an amazing Christmas. I'll see you in the next video.